My name is Dr. Grace Kakari. I go by Dr. G on social media. I am a success and wellness advocate. I talk about everything success, holistic wellness, and things that will help us thrive in our generation. I do believe that we can thrive. It is challenging. Every single day, there is something to go through, there is something to work out, but such is life. But we can do well. And when we are doing well, we shouldn't just do well by ourselves. We shouldn't be selfish. We shouldn't be greedy and just think about me, me, me. We can thrive and still thrive with the people around us. Okay. I am thriving and I want you all to thrive with me. We've come to realize that a balanced, thriving life demands paying attention to several aspects of a person's life. So, if we are going to live and live well on this earth and thrive, there are different dimensions that we have to pay attention to. And these have been the dimensions we've been looking at. We've been looking at the 8 dimensions of health and wellness. We know that there are several dimensions out there. Some go with 7, some go with 6, some go with 3. We are going with 8 so that we can take our time to look at every single thing, right? We don't want to lose track of anything. So, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, occupational wellness, physical wellness, financial wellness, intellectual wellness, environmental wellness, and social wellness. We've already done emotional wellness, we've already done physical wellness, and today we are moving on to look at environmental wellness. So that is what we are focusing on today. I want us to just take a moment and breathe in and breathe out. How does that feel? Isn't that wonderful? Depending on the part of the world you are in, you are enjoying some kind of environment. Either you decide to go to the ocean and look at the beautiful nature for your vacation, or maybe you live by the ocean, or maybe you don't because yours is not like this but rather like this. So how did we move from this to this in some parts of the world? How did we move from that beautiful blue ocean to this? What about this? Growing up, we had so much forest around us where I grew up. But now most of them look like this. Maybe you are still lucky you are in the environment where you still look like this. But how did we move from this to this? What about beautiful earth? The world we live in, our planet. A few years ago, it was like this. And now here we are. Oh, are you wondering what is that? It's not cereal. No, and it's not insects. It is this. The several satellites we've sent to space and they never come back down. They break and they stay up there. And then very soon, this is a closer picture to see how all these are circulating. We call that space debris. They are just like space trash. So we are making trash in the ocean, we are making trash on the land, and we are making trash in the space. How are we going to enjoy this wonderful planet that we've been blessed with? How are we going to thrive if we don't take care of the blessings we have? Do you think you are breathing in and out by chance? God created the world in such a way that the trees feed us, right? The trees feed us somehow. We survive from the meat and then the freshness of the ocean. Clean water comes from underground. When I was growing up in Kumasi, Ghana, we didn't have tap water because it was a new area. So most of the homes had wells. So you pay for someone to come and dig deep, 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 deep into the earth and then chance on water. And then that water was usually clean. We drank that water, we bathed with that water, we did everything with that. But imagine in a few years when we are disposing all these oils and all these trash. I don't think people will be getting clean water from the wells they are digging anymore. I even wonder how it looks like. When I was leaving Ghana about 10 years ago, the last research study I did was in rural Ghana and it focused on some Galamsey areas. Okay. And it was so sad. Waters that used to be clean a few years back are looking so red and undrinkable. And then people in these villages have to purchase drinking water when their streams are being polluted. It is so, so sad. Okay. And who are the people doing that? It's easy to just point fingers. It's easy to say, oh, is that person? Oh, is that person? Especially when it comes to industries, it's easy to just say that, oh, have you seen that $1 million industry? They are the ones polluting. Did you see that? But I think we all are part of it somehow, and we all can contribute to making our world a better place. So then let's take a moment and look at how we can do that. Okay. How can we improve our environment? What can we do to make our place a lovely space to live? And then don't not just for us, but for the next generation to come. The next generation must enjoy our space as well. So environmental wellness involves being able to be safe and feel safe where you live, where you exist, being in harmony with the earth, being in harmony with the space we are enjoying every single day, being in harmony with the planet we were blessed with. Some countries, even today, people have to put on mask before they can go out because the air is polluted so bad that they can't just breathe. Our friends shared with us they lived in a big city in China, and she said everywhere you go there is a purifier, air purifier, because you have to purify the air within your room. What a blessing for some of us in other parts of the world that we don't need air purifier, but we all want to get there. And I know that China, because of the industrialization, they are doing a lot of production, and that picture where you see the air being polluted could be, as a result, right? So one way you are developing, in another way pollution is happening. So let's think about the balance. What can we do? What are some of the things we can do to improve our environmental wellness? We can start by living green. Okay, we can start by living green. What does it mean to live green? Living green is simple. It's about thinking about recycling. It's about thinking about possible ways of reusing things. Okay, thinking about saving water. I know you are paying your own water bill. Okay, I know it's not coming from my pocket, but you don't need to be under the shower for 1 hour. I know people think, water is not limited, like it's limitless. I can use it and it will come back again. Have you thought about where your water is coming from? Those of us who used to carry water, okay, when we used to carry water from the well into the room, and you know that in a day you'll be carrying 2 gallons. I never took a picture. I didn't know God was going to change my life like this. I should have taken a picture. Then I'll show you before and after. Now I'm a fine girl, but I used to carry water on my head, the big gallons, a big gallon like that. When you are going to bath, you are very careful because you don't want it to get finished and you have to go back to the well and fetch again. So you limit how much you use just because of the stress involved in going to pick it up. But we have to preserve what we have. I know in Singapore they kind of recycle their water. So as the water is being used and all that, it goes back, and then the city recycles it and it comes back into the city and they're able to use it again. Not all nations have that opportunity. So we can live green. You can think about that. We can think about public transportation when we all don't need to drive. When it's a short distance, can you walk? Because walking is also great. And we'll talk about that in a moment. It is great. And we can also think about the kind of cars we are using. That is a bit tricky, but it's a gradual process. When you are in the position where you can afford a car that is electronic, maybe that would be the way to go. But just start thinking about these things, okay? Start thinking about these things. How fast fashion has really affected our environment. So when I'm telling us to think about recycling, it includes clothing. Do we need to buy new clothes every single semester, every single season, every single day? Because this is the new trend. Look at all this. We have no place to put it. It is on the land. It is the colors are diffusing into the soil and they are getting into our water bodies. Look at that. Look at that. And when I come from Ghana, so I can talk about my country, beaches in Ghana, all these clothing are just showing up on the beaches. Where did they come from? We have no place to store them. When I talk about recycle, when we throw away the bottles, they don't go anywhere. They don't just vanish into space. Even space, we are trashing space. We are trashing space. So think about that. Where are your bottles going? Where are your trash going? All the things you are throwing out, where are they going? Okay. They are not going anywhere. They are just being circulated around and they will come back to you. They will come back to us in a way. Look at that. We need the fish. We are still eating meat. Unless we all get to the point where we'll all be vegan, and not because we are choosing to, but because we don't even have meat to eat, because we don't even have meat to eat. So recycling is very, very important. Let's find a way. Let's find a way to balance, when you don't need another bottle, please don't get another bottle. I buy from the thrift store and there's no shame in that. I have a friend who makes fun of me for that. Like, hey, you don't like buying new things. I buy new things when I have to buy new things, but thrift shops are not available everywhere. I understand, but where I live, people are always buying and people are always donating and people are always throwing away because each season there is a sale. Is that what they call a sale? Okay, let me describe this for you. In the year, so right now we are in February, okay? In January, we had New Year sales where they were trying to clearance all the Christmas stuff, right? So Christmas stuff went on sale. And then in February, they've launched lots of red and pink and Valentine theme things in most stores. Okay. They need the space for the next one. So those things will not be there forever. They will reduce the prices and they will clearance them. And then in March, April, May, June, 4th of July, Independence Day, all stores will be selling something Independence Day related. So all the things they had during Valentine, they'll be clearancing them. And then February, March, April, May, summer will start coming. So now they start selling summer things. June, July, August, fall is coming. So fall is getting a little bit cold, but it's not really cold. So now they have to clearance all the summer shorts and the short sleeve. Sometimes I feel like we act as if the season will never come again. It's like we get rid of everything, and then next year, the same season will come again. Okay, so what I will personally do is when they are clearancing the Valentine's things this year, I know next year Valentine will come. Some of these things don't expire. I'll buy and keep. Okay, and one of my friends will always laugh at me. Hey, you don't want to spend money. No, I want to spend my money where I want to spend my money. Okay, and we are trying to build wealth. We have children, so just be creative. When fruits are in season, buy the things in season. Buy things that are cheap. It doesn't make you poor. It makes you wise, actually. You are wise. You know how to use your money. You don't want to be giving your money to corporations who don't need it. Now, let's talk about changing scenery. What would that mean? What would that mean for us? Okay. That will mean, are you spending as much time outdoors as possible? This one is tricky depending on where you are. If outdoor is polluted, then you probably don't want to be there. So that will mean maybe changing cities. If you can travel somewhere to enjoy the environment, the Lord has blessed us with trees that kind of clean our environments for us, clean the air for us. So if you can, that would be wonderful. If you have access to parks, if you have access to sports centers, if you can walk from one station to the other, please do. They all help. Sometimes we feel like driving looks fancy, driving looks nice. It's good. It's good. But if we don't also get in the exercise and enjoy our natural environment, at the end of the day, we get sick and then we pay for our health by going to the hospital or being disabled at home or something. Takes time and energy from us. So figure out what outdoor activities you can participate in and what you can do for yourself and your family. Maybe that will mean just playing with the kids outside, and that will be your workout for the day, and that will be your enjoyment of the outside environment. Okay. It feels easier to just be inside, but consider the possibility of being outside a lot of times. And then depending on where you work, you can also take breaks and walk around the buildings, buy yourself something from outside from time to time, or visit people by walking your neighbors instead of driving. Just walk over them, have walk parties with friends. I've done that with one friend before, only once. I thought I was young and strong and fine, all the good stuff. And this lady who is like probably in her 50s, early 50s, or something like that. We worked for over an hour, like 2 hours. Like, hey, goodness. she was just going and going and going. But I guess because she's been doing it for a long time, she had the energy for it. I was really embarrassed. I really felt ashamed because that's not my thing. That's not my thing at all. But that helped a lot because she was doing it. I was also able to keep up. So, what is the next thing we can look at? The next thing will be our home and work environment. We don't always have control over the environment in general. We don't always know what we can do, right? Depending on where you live, you don't have control over the air outside. But then you have control in your house, and then your workspace is maybe your specific space you may have control over. So what can you do? The two pictures, I'm showing some plants in the house, okay? And then I also have mine. So in my house I have a couple of plants. Plants are wonderful. They help you with your air. They kind of clean the air for you. This one, God saved my life. Every plant I have, it dies. But these ones have been wonderful. A friend introduced them to me, and we've been in this house for 3 years, and it's still alive. So this is an indoor plant. You can get it in your house, helps with your environment. And then behind me, it's a window. Sometimes you don't see it, but it's just a window. And we have some natural plants here as well. This one is for my son. He bought it from the store for $2 or so. And then this one is also natural. I think this one was passed on from a friend as a gift. This one, I don't really know their names. I should be telling you the names, but I don't know the names. Okay. I just go like, I want the plant which will never die. And then this one is also about 3 years old. A couple of them died, so I cut the leaves, but they're all growing strong. That one is not real, don't worry. But things like that for yourself, you have control over that. Make your environment fresh for your kids, make your environment fresh for you. It's about you, it's about your health. You can do it. You can do it. Think about your well-being, think about your children's well-being. And having plants around can also help reduce allergies. So please do your own research. Some plants work better for people than others, but for catkins, it never dies. Plants like this, no matter how you kill plants in your house, these ones will survive. It's just like we bought it. It's still very, very small. So what are some of the plants you are familiar with? Share some of the names with us and we can look into it. If this is your thing, like I said, I just go for plants that would never die, easy to take care of. That's my criteria. Please, which one can I keep forever? And even when I travel, it won't die. So share some of the names with us. Are you familiar with plants? What are some of them? And then what are you currently doing in your homes and in your environment to improve them? I'm sure you are doing something. Are you recycling? Do you have tips that we can also take with us? I just showed you my plans. They are not perfect, but at least I'm trying. I'm trying here. And for recycling, we don't have much choice anyway. The city I live in does very well coming for the trash. So you have to separate the recycle trash from the trash. So that is very helpful. So I'm sure if you have wonderful ideas and you check online, you will find something to do with your recycle trash. And let's continue to thrive together. We will thrive, but let's do it together. Okay. I'll